Here we go, guys. So, when Austin and Nate and I really started talking about what we wanted to discuss in October and we wanted to discuss finances in general, they asked me to talk about business finances. So I am not the finance guru that you'll see with Nate and with Austin, but what I am is a successful realtor who's been selling for years and years and years. And I realized too late, I feel, that I didn't treat my business like a business from the very beginning. I didn't take myself seriously. So because I didn't take myself seriously, I didn't take my business seriously. So what we're going to dive into today is what I wish I would have done with the first year, but I really waited until toward the end of my third year, going into my fourth year, to dive into. So what we're going to talk about, and I think it's really crucial for our success as realtors, is managing our business finances effectively. So I think you all know this, but just as a reminder, I've been selling in Chapel Hill primarily for over a decade. And so it went from a couple of million my first year to multi-millions in sales just even this year. And so I really have learned firsthand how financial discipline can transform our businesses and can transform our lives. So when I first started, I made less than $20,000 that first year. But no matter where you are within your business, it's really never too late to implement best practices starting today. So today we're going to cover two main areas. The first is how to set up your real estate business from a financial standpoint. And then the second is going to be the essential steps and strategies to ensure that your financial success every single year is there. So I don't want you all to wait until you have like the most successful year ever to really dive in. If you set yourself up for success now, it's going to be transformational. So by the end of this session, you should be very clear and you should have a roadmap to not only manage your finances, but also to scale your business sustainably. So why, right? Why is it important to have financial discipline? Why is it so important? Well, simply put, you all know this, real estate is a commission-based industry, which means that our income is irregular and it's also unpredictable. So without those proper financial management pieces in place, it is so easy to fall into debt, to miss out on those growth opportunities, to fail or prepare for the slow seasons. So that financial discipline provides that stability, because it's so funny. I always hear about people talking about what happens, during those slow months, or what happens when you have to step away from your business because of health, or you want to take care of a family member. A lot of people don't talk about what do you do when you're making so much money that you don't know what to do with it. Where do you put that money back into your business? What do you do to continue that growth? Do you put it into your team? Do you put it into yourself? Do you go into deeper coaching? I think it's so easy to talk about how to really step back from everything, but how do you go further with it? What do you do with all the money that's coming in? So we're going to dive into that as well. So before we dive even deeper into that, though, I really want to touch upon what I feel is business 101, which is really setting up your business. This foundation is crucial for everything else that we're going to discuss. So choosing the right business structure, guys, is your very first step. So the common structures include your sole proprietorship, your LLC, and your S Corp. Each has its own tax implications and liability protections. I want to make it very clear, myself, Nate, Austin, we're not accountants, right? We're not professional financial advisors, but we've been around the block a few times. And I'm going to tell you what I've learned, what's worked for me, and what I see works for a lot of realtors. So for most realtors starting out, forming an LLC offers a great balance of flexibility and protection. But how do you decide which one you're going to choose? So you're going to see here that you have LLC and you also have S Corp. So the LLC is truly best for the realtors who's starting out, or they have the moderate earnings, right? So those are the ones who just want simplicity. You want your personal liability protection. You're going to pay the self-employment taxes on all of your net income. Now your S Corp, though, that's going to be ideal for realtors with the higher earnings, those who want to reduce those self-employment taxes. So many realtors, like I said, you're going to start. I started as an LLC. It's very simple. It allows you to write things off. But when you reach that income of at least $50,000 and you start going up from there, I have found that it's best to be an S Corp. The key here is to really understand which is going to be best for you based on firstly, who's politically in office, and what your tax advisor is telling you is the best for you. So we do have a one pager of pros and cons for both your S Corp and your LLC. If you'll reach out to me or I can share it into our Facebook, I think you're going to be able to really take those key points of pros and cons and decide which one is the best. But no matter what, guys, if you are paying yourselves or if your firm is paying you yourself, right? If you're just paying REAMI, you're not paying an LLC or you're not paying an S Corp, you're leaving money on the table. And I highly recommend that you change that structure. That is very, very important. Separation of finances. I know that Austin really likes to discuss this, but I'm going to tell you, outside of deciding between your LLC and your S Corp, separating your personal and your business finances is absolutely the best step you can take. I need you to open up a dedicated business bank account, but I also need you to get a business credit card. So for me personally, I love Amex. I have an Amex Platinum card. It is $695 a year. That's what the cost is to actually have that card. But I will tell you that the amount of benefits that I receive, the amount of points I receive, I easily cover that a year. There's going to be some places that don't accept Amex, like the best place on earth, Costco. They only accept Visa. So if that's the case, my recommendation is to go ahead and choose the airline that you really like the most, that you fly the most. So I fly Southwest a lot and I fly American a lot. So for Southwest, then I got a Visa Southwest card. So I have two business credit cards. I have my Amex and then I also have my Visa. So once you have your account and you have your credit cards, I want you to set up the basic systems for your finances. I want you to use your bookkeeping software, QuickBooks, Xero, Wave Accounting, Expensify. These are ones that are going to help you track your income and track your expenses. So what's so interesting is that you all see your commission coming in and it goes into your bank account, but I know that you realize that the money that is actually coming in is not all yours, right? Because there are things that are going to have to go to taxes. There are things that are going to have to go to marketing expenses. There's already things that you paid out. So when you see that money come in, I want you to fully understand, and we're going to dive into this later, that the funds that are coming in are not solely yours. So you have to be very clear about the commission that comes in, how much is going to where, and where those items need to go. So how often should you really be looking at your income and your expenses? I would highly recommend that you all spend at least 1 hour a week doing that. So for me, it's every Friday morning. Friday is my down day going into the weekend. So I take from 9 to 10 a.m. That's not true. If Austin were here, he would totally call me out on that. That is my time with him. So actually it's from 10:30 to 11:30 is when I do my accounting every single Friday. And once you really get into it, you'll hear this as well, do 15 minutes a day. So I don't know if Lisa's on this call. Is Lisa on this call? Nate? No, okay. So I wanted, or if there's anybody who really spends at least 15 minutes a day, I'd love for you to talk about that experience and what that's done for your finances. Is there anybody on the call who does that to date?
Yes. Hi, this is Tamika. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
Tamika, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. So I started this process I believe last week, and what I do is actually set a timer because I feel that the fact that it was spoken about, and I felt that it was something that I really needed to do. So what I do now is actually set a timer for 15 minutes, and it has really allowed me to really just face my finances like full on. And so it has really helped me. I now feel much better in terms of like my approach to finances. Because before I used to skip a beat every time I had to check my account, because as a business owner, like you always want to have that cash flow going. And if you do happen to check the account and the balance is low and you have so much bills that you needed to cover, I used to, I think for the last year or so, just ask my husband like what's our balance because I just didn't want to look
Yes.
at accounts at all. Like so with now going into the process, I literally have to check the account myself. So instead of saying going to my husband and asking him what the account balance is. I never check the account. So it has definitely allowed me to face that fear and just really allow me now to be a lot calmer and really take it more like as a task and something separate from my emotion and really pulling that apart. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
that's
proud of
awesome. I'm going to say something real quick. I'm going to stop sharing your screen, Chanel, just so I can see everyone's
you.
faces. And so, Tamika, tell me again how long. I hope you all heard like just how confident she spoke there about her finances and what she was doing and how she was taking charge. How long did you say that you were doing that?
Last week
Last week, right?
started.
So
Yeah.
it's literally within a week, it can turn around your mindset and flip just one small change, right?
Yeah.
And just how you think about it. And that's a brilliant thing, right? Just set a timer, right? You might not get it all done within that, 15-minute time span, but it just moves the needle at least. And you might actually find yourself that you're building momentum around it, and you'll spend a few extra minutes because you forgot one account or you wanted to check one other thing, and you just feel so much more in control when you see what's actually happening. So beautiful share, Tamika. That's awesome.